In this video, we will review graphing subsets of real numbers onto a number line. So to begin with, we have x such that x is less than a. This is in set builder notation. So all it's saying is that for x, we have x less than a. So x is a real number less than a. Now, to graph that onto a number line, we would just find a, and since it says less than, not less than or equal to, if it's less than, it will be an open circle. And if it is less than or greater than or equal to, so less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it will be a closed circle. So let's get started. X such that x is less than a. So I'm going to find a on the number line. And again, it is not equal to, so it's going to be open. And then it is saying less than a. So we will graph anything less than a. So it goes in that general direction. Okay. So remember on our number line, I'll draw this really quickly, to the right of the screen. If it is a positive number, it goes towards the right. If it is a negative number, it goes towards the left. Now also when you're saying less than in these cases, it goes to the left, and positive or greater than, it goes to the right. So let's move on to the next one. X such that x is less than or equal to a. So in this case, we have less than or equal to. So I'll take a and I will color it in this time, again because of the equal to, and it is still a real number less than or equal to a. So less than goes to the left, and we will just graph it from there. Okay, the next one is x such that x is greater than b. So again, it's just greater than. So we'll find b, and greater than is up, meaning positive or to the right. So we will just fill in that line and say we don't have a specific number. We just say it is a real number greater than. So I always draw in the line and then put the arrow, meaning that as far as we know, that's infinite. We don't know when it stops. We'll do a few later on in this video that has a specific place where it starts and stops. But for right now, on these, you just draw a little arrow showing that it goes on for infinity. Okay, the next one is x such that x is greater than or equal to b. So again, we'll find b, and since it's greater than or equal to, we'll fill that in because that's just saying that it is included. So it could be b or beyond. But if it's greater than, it could be beyond b. It cannot be b. So b is not included. So the whole is non-inclusive, which means it's not circled in. I like to think of it like that. It helps me remember that a filled in circle means greater than or equal to. A non-filled in circle means greater than. Okay, we'll move on to one that'll show us a specific. Okay, x such that a is less than x and x is less than b. So this is saying x is a real number greater than a and less than b. Here's my trick for this. I start with the value that I know right off the bat, which is the right half of it, because it tells me right here. It says x is less than b. So I'll go over here and say b. So we know b is going to have an open circle. And I'll do this on top to show you all how I do it. So it's saying x is less than b. So less than will be to the left. So we're saying, okay, less than can be all numbers less than. And then the other half, now it says a is less than x. And sometimes people will just graph that as saying, okay, I'm going to find a, and it says less than. But really, it's backwards. It's saying a is less than x. So really, x is greater than a. You want to flip that so you'll read it from the center to the left. And then, this half you read from the center to the right. So really, the first half of it, you always want to flip the sign. So I'll demonstrate in this. So we did B, and now we have A. So we have A is less than X. So really that is X is greater than A. So we'll fill in A and saying it's greater than. So it goes on for infinity. Now what we're really finding is where they overlap. So right here, because you want the value that is true for this statement. So it's saying find x where x is less than b and x is greater than a. So that statement is only true for anything between a and b, not including a and b. So let's move on to another one and see if we can explain this a little differently if you didn't understand what I was saying for that one. So we'll start off with saying x such that a is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to b. So again, I'll start with the side that I know right away. I don't have to do any flipping when I start from the middle and move right. So I know that says x is less than or equal to b. So less than or equal to means fill in the circle. And I'll just draw this above here a little bit. And this is just for my notes. You can erase this line afterwards if you want to. So I know that that's saying anywhere from b left on the number line is the value of x is less than b. So now we go from the middle to the left reading it. So instead of saying a is less than or equal to x, that is really saying x is greater than or equal to a. So we'll find a, and it's saying greater than or equal to. So we'll fill in the circle. So greater than or equal to would be all numbers from a to the right of a for infinity. So it's including a. So now where do these lines overlap? Well, since a starts here, we would go up, and then b starts here. We'll go up, and this area right here is where they overlap. So this is the only area where the statement x such that a is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to b, is true. So this is the only place that that statement is true between A and B. This time it's including A and B. And again, all the stuff up here that I drew, you can erase that. That's just to help you define the exact spot. You know, some people don't even like to do that, but to me, I like doing it step by step to make sure I don't make any mistakes, and that helps me to know the exact places where that statement is true. So let's move on to the next one. X such that A is less than or equal to X, which is less than B. So again, I'll start with the middle and move right. X is less than B. So less than means an open circle. And again, I'll move up and say, okay, to the left of B is true. And then now we need to go to the left of X. X is, so we have A is less than or equal to X. But remember, we need to flip that so we can find the value for X. So the opposite of that is X is greater than or equal to A. So we found A. Greater than or equal to means fill in the circle completely. So we are saying greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to, including A, the circle is filled in. So where is this statement true? Well, I'll draw my line. So A started here and B started here. So between A, including A, from A to B, but not including B. So that is what it will look like, in the part in green is all that you would need to fill in for that statement. Again, the stuff up here is not necessary, but if you'd like it, that's totally fine. Okay, and the last one, X such that A is less than X, which is less than or equal to B. So X is a real number greater than A and less than or equal to B. So we'll start here with X is less than or equal to B. So less than or equal to means fill it in. So we'll say less than or equal to means that direction to the left. And then A is less than X, which again is really flipping it. X is greater than A. So greater than is an open circle. Greater than to the right. Okay, so where this statement is true is an open circle for A, meaning anything above A and less than or equal to B. And that is all.